Super Dimension Fortress Macross, the beloved mecha-driven space opera that comprises the first third of Robotech, ended its original run in Japan in 1983. And this was not the ending that had been planned for it originally.
1, 2!
Macross was supposed to end with the rebuilding of the SDF-1 Macross itself, restored to its former glory and might, with a final celebration to the ending of Space War 1. Min-Mei, back to following her dreams of singing and inspiring, gives one final massive concert, inaugurating this new era of mankind. Although some concept of an SDF-2 was in the production of Macross, it was eventually scrapped altogether in favor of the mighty new Earth colonization ship, the Mega Road 1. Commanded, of course, by Misa Hayase. She and Hikaru, still friends with Lin Min-Mei, extend a personal invitation to her to join this first human expedition into deep space. This new Mega Road ship absolutely dwarfs the SDF-1 in size, and as it lifts off to head to the center of the galaxy, we are left with the knowledge that Earth is safe, mankind and the Zentradi together now thriving on this cradle of humanity, as the larger story of Macross moves away from the Earth and out into the stars beyond. All of this, of course, is a massive divergence from where the story of Robotech would inevitably head from here. And honestly, the ending to Macross and where its story goes is probably a happier ending for the Earth and its people than the rather bleak and trying events that follow in the story of Robotech, which would see the Earth suffer not one, but 2 more alien invasions that would take their toll on an already wounded world. But we'll get to that. Upon its inception, Macross by itself was planned to be an even bigger adventure of 52 episodes. But the production run of episodes ordered was cut in half due to many factors. However, as the TV ratings and viewership increased, and of course the toy sales of the Valkyrie Variable Fighter, the real star of the show, were through the roof. Therefore, the powers that be ordered an additional slew of episodes to round off the series, which is why episode 27, Love Drifts Away, or Force of Arms as it's known in Robotech, feels like such a climactic finish to a great deal of the storyline in the show up to that point. But after that, we get an additional 9 episodes, thanks to the extension given to the show's run. This extra set of episodes is mostly used to emphasize the love life of the show's 3 main leads and wrap up their romantic love triangle. And ever since I was a teenager and found all of this out, I couldn't help but wonder what other cool story and adventure we could have had, given another dozen episodes or so. And thanks to the OVA craze anime went through in the 90s, or OAV, whatever, we got to see a glimpse of that world envisioned by the creators of Macross. Macross Flashback 2012 finally gave them the chance to show the big send-off to Min-Mei, Misa, and Hikaru they'd always wanted to give them. This universe would be even more fully fleshed out by 1994's amazing Macross Plus, which actually found its way to Western shores soon after, with an English dub involving many Robotech alumni, like Roy Foker's Dan Warren and Ben Dixon's Richard Epcar. The main character, Isamu Alva Dyson, had an amazing voice actor who I really liked in the show, but didn't hear in much else. And for the longest time, I'd wondered whatever happened to him. Until one day, I was shocked to learn he'd been none other than the legendary Bryan freaking Cranston.
Say my name.
Bryan freaking Cranston.
Goddamn right.
Come on and show me what you've got.
Macross Plus's Planet Eden showed us that Captain Gloval's dream of mankind's immigration into space, colonizing other planets, spreading its culture and influence to the universe, was being fulfilled as he had hoped it would be. Speaking of Gloval, his death in battle, along with Claudia, Sammy, Kim, and Vanessa, is one of the sadder changes between Robotech and Macross. Because in Macross, it's not just Lisa who survives. Thankfully, they all did. In fact, Gloval himself goes on as head of the Defense Forces, eventually moving into a comfortable and well-deserved retirement. He even plays matchmaker for good old Sammy, setting her up with a well-to-do family where she goes on in love, success, and prosperity with her husband and, I believe it's 11 children, if I'm not mistaken. Vanessa retires from the military after some time and becomes a hostess and eventually head of a high-class club in New Macross City to great success. She even ends up marrying Rico of all people, or Loli as he's known in Macross. He, along with his two cohorts, never quite hit it big with their entrepreneurial endeavors, so he plays stay-at-home dad to he and Vanessa's 3 kids, along with the other 2 spies. Kim never does quite find the right guy in her life, but her military career is distinguished. She rises through the ranks, even becoming the captain of the Macross 13, and eventually the commander of the entire UN Spacey for a time. She eventually settles down on Planet Eden, where Macross Plus takes place, and lives out her days at the General's Mansion there, where a military school bearing her name was founded for future generations of officers. As for Claudia Grant, or Claudia LaSalle in Macross, it remains unknown exactly what happened to her to this day. Perhaps she remained on Earth, or maybe settled Planet Eden, or it's possible she went off with the Mega Road 1 when it headed out. I used to pretend that Kate from Macross Plus was possibly Claudia's daughter, but really there's just no confirmed fate for Claudia after Macross. The character Edgar in Macross Zero is probably her brother, although that's never been officially confirmed, though they share the same last name of LaSalle. But other than that, there really isn't any mention of her in the aftermath of the original series. Whatever path life took her on, I could only hope that perhaps she found love again, while still always fondly remembering Roy, and continued to give wonderful advice to those closest to her. One character, though, who has remained a constant figure throughout the Macross universe, is the amazing Maximilian Sterling, or Max Genius, as it were. Max and Miria both have amazing careers and missions in the military for many years to come. He even becomes the commander of the 7th Macross Fleet and captain of the flagship Battle 7. Exodor actually joins him as an advisor on the fleet's journey, back in his original Giant Zentradi size. Although, don't ask why his head now looks like broccoli. Miria becomes the mayor of City 7 in the fleet and protects it almost single-handedly for a short time at one point. Max and Miria have their ups and downs in their relationship, as most folks do. But despite that, they increase the size of their family from 1 child to 8. Each of them have some unique adventures of their own, too. Little baby Dana, or Comilia as she's originally known, becomes a fighter pilot of great skill, rivaling that of her parents. She joins her Uncle Britai on many missions protecting the Earth, while also finding love with a fellow pilot. Another daughter of note is the youngest, Elaine, whose accomplishments as a member and singer in the superstar band Firebomber play a major part in the war with the Proto-Devlin. When she isn't singing with her bandmates, Mama Miria can't help but try and play matchmaker, trying to betroth her to some worthy individual, a situation Elaine wrestles with throughout her own story. But what of Hikaru and Misa? And Minmei, for that matter? Well, we do know that Misa and Hikaru do get married, with the full support of Minmei, and every other person in the world grateful to see those two finally together. And the two of them do have at least one little girl, Miku. With Misa as captain of the Mega Road, and their much-lauded departure from the Earth with Minmei, the ship began its journey towards the center of the Milky Way, and all contact was lost. To this day, after all of these years, it remains a mystery exactly what happened to them. Yet certain teases have been sprinkled throughout Macross Frontier and Delta, mostly surrounding the mysterious enigma of Lady M, the head of the organization Chaos, an entity that seems to be pulling the strings of many of the military institutions and companies involved in the galaxy long after Space War I. Even Max, in a new Macross movie released as recently as 2021, appeared as the captain of the Macross Gigassian, working to protect the universe under the direction of Lady M. When a radicalized organization named Heimdall moves in an effort to locate and destroy Lady M specifically, Max leads a fleet of Macross ships to thwart Heimdall. The ensuing battle opens a super dimension fold rift, and Max is amazed to see within it the Mega Road 1. And based on the damage around it, she's seen better days. More than that, he can just make out what appears to be two of his old friends near a window looking back at him. Max and the heroes of Macross Delta succeed in defending the ship, And he even finds a chance to fight alongside the other brave pilots, which includes Max's own granddaughter, Mirage. The rift closes once more, leaving many questions as to the fate of the Mega Road, as well as its crew and passengers. Who was that in the window? Misa and Hikaru? Hikaru and Minmay? Or it might have been Misa and Minmay together, but whomever it was, it seems likely it was at least 2 out of the 3 characters of that original Macross love triangle. As to what Lady M stands for, well, that's still being speculated on for almost 20 years now. Perhaps the M is for Mega Road, or possibly Misa. Yet, considering what Macross 7, Frontier, and Delta all teach us about fold waves in the universe, and their connection to music specifically, there's a good chance that Lady M is a certain person whose dream it always was to sing for the entire galaxy and bring it together. We may never truly know what happened to everyone after this original series, but Macross, for the most part, at least has a very optimistic view of the future and mankind's place in it, fulfilling that dream Global had of spreading our people and culture throughout the galaxy. When it comes to Robotech, and where the story of that goes from here after Chiron's final attack on the SDF-1, well, this is certainly where the show diverts from its source material, specifically for Rick, Lisa, and Minmay, who follow a fairly different path than their Macross counterparts. All of you watching this have almost certainly heard of Robotech's planned sequel series, The Sentinels, and its doomed production. But it did further the tale of Rick and Lisa Hunter, and in the few episodes that were animated, we were at least treated to being able to see their wedding. Rick and Max are still best pals, so of course Max gets to be Rick's best man.
The curtain's about to go up.
Oh,
Here. I'm an expert when it comes to these things. There. It's a matter of finesse.
Thanks a lot, Max. I guess I'm just a little clumsy this morning.
You're lucky to have me for a best man.
I'm grateful.
Oops. Oh, hey, maybe you'll start a trend.
And with Lisa's own father being long since perished, it's Britai who gets to give away the bride.
Sir, it is my honor to give this bride away.
Minmay attends the wedding, along with her new BFF and singing partner, Janice. And I quite enjoy the way they get along with each other, especially knowing that, with Janice, there's more than meets the eye. Although Claudia doesn't survive the ending of the Macross saga, we do get to meet her brother, Vince, and his wife, Jean, who become good friends of Rick and Lisa. Their son, Bowie, becomes best friends with Max and Maria's daughter, Dana. An important duo in other Robotech adventures.
Mom, I still don't get it. How can Lisa be Rick's wife? I thought he already had one.
Dana, I think you've got him confused with somebody else.
But Mom says he's married to his job.
we never quite get to see more than a glimpse of the SDF-3, or witness the launch of it on its mission to journey to the homeworld of the Robotech Masters. And I've lamented for most of my life that this sequel to Robotech never got fully produced. Fortunately for those curious, there are comics and, of course, the Jack McKinney novels that may help fill in that hole in your heart, yearning to see what happens to these characters on this journey. And maybe we'll make a video or two about it one day. But for now, rest assured that the SDF-3, as well as the remaining heroes of the Macross saga, embarked on their mission to the stars and beyond, leaving the Earth behind at this time. And as it happens, the fate the Earth is left to face is far more dire than the end of the original Macross series. On its journey to find the Robotech Masters, the SDF-3 passes them by like ships in the night. For the Masters have been making the journey to Earth already, to the last proto-culture matrix kept buried in the remains of Zor's battle fortress. And they don't intend on asking for it nicely. But do not fear, as the Earth stands in the care of the vast and powerful Army of the Southern Cross, and a new band of heroes stand ready to face the Robotech Masters and continue to defend the Earth.